Well, I'm in my studio, and it's Sunday night. Let's see, what day is this? Alexa, what's today's date?
Today is Sunday, August 19th.
All right, Sunday, August 19th. Actually, for the past year, I've been trying to figure out how I could go online and try to find out more about the Pullman porters, as well as to see how difficult it might in fact be to find one of those treasures in terms of Pullman porter memorabilia. So I'd like for you to just sit back and look at this little piece of documentary that I put together. And it actually is a piece of a program that was originally on television. So I just picked big pieces that pretty much go along with what I've been trying to do with my own projects. So I hope you enjoy it.
They just say, George, will you bring me or get me a glass of water or drink or something like that? But didn't cause no confusion, nothing like that. I didn't pay no attention.
And this gentleman sat on my station, and we waiters have a badge with our names on the badge. So he looked up at me and said, Jimmy, you look just like a nigger I met in Cincinnati. Are you that nigger? I said, no, sir, I'm not that nigger. How could I serve you? I always will remember he ordered steak. That was the most expensive meal on the B&O at that time. It cost $1.50. I said, I'll serve you. He said, you look like a nice nigger. He said, here, take $10. I said, no, sir, I won't take your $10. I'll wait on you. I will not take your $10 because I will not allow you to buy my integrity for $10.
The Pullman porters recognized the extent to which they were being exploited, but those who complained would be fired.
A lot of men got fired fighting and trying to defend yourself. You can't defend yourself.
While there was interest in the need for a labor union, many of the Pullman porters were concerned to support this openly. They needed someone.
This low salary, the long hours, the idea that if they broke any one of the hundreds of George Pullman's rules in his rule book, that they could be fired, this led them repeatedly to try to unionize. The porters were so discouraged, they went to a man who had never been a Pullman porter and decided to hire him to run their union. This guy had a track record of abject failure. He had tried 4 times to organize unions, and each time he had failed. He was an avowed socialist. He was everything that you would think would guarantee failure. He was a man named A. Philip Randolph. He spent 12 long years battling to organize a union. He watched his top lieutenants be fired. They tried bribery, intimidation, and this guy, nobody quite understood how persistent he was and how much the porters had faith in him. Everybody knows about the famous March on Washington in 1963. That was a march where Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. What people may not know is that the original March on Washington was scheduled 22 years before, and it was organized by A. Philip Randolph, and Randolph called it off because Franklin Roosevelt agreed to pass the Fair Employment Practices Act.
Roosevelt backed it, and with that backing, he essentially forced the Pullman Company to capitulate and recognize the union.
12 long years to the day that he started his drive to organize a union, the Pullman Company came in, they shocked him, they shocked everybody around this long negotiating table by saying, we give up, we will sign. And it was the first ever trade union for African Americans in
The
America.
Pullman porter would have never been where he was, where he's at today with President Randolph. No way. Better hours, better benefits, and a place to stay when you're out on the road.
Although they were considered servants, I don't think that that's any accident that they were able to form a labor